activity to the next level. And Graybar can help you get there. Your relationships plus our relationships. Your capabilities plus our job site services. Your challenges plus our technical specialists. You alone can get the job done. But you plus Graybar, that's smart business. Yep, Graybar does that.
This is the Verizon Extra Innings Show. Verizon, the most reliable 5G in St. Louis.
The pitch. Walker swings and strikes out. This ballgame has come to an end. We'll have the rubber game of the series tomorrow. The Cardinals won 3-2 last night. The Rockies won 3-0 tonight.
Yeah, tough one tonight for the Cardinals. They lose to the Rockies by a 3-0 score. Welcome into the program. My name is Matt Pauley. Great to have you with us tonight. If you want to join us, you can certainly do so. Multiple ways to get connected with the program. You can call or text 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. You can tweet at Matt Pauley on air, or you can leave a message in the video chat if you are watching on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, and we will get to those as we do go along. Jeremy, I think, speaks for a lot of Cardinals fans. He sends in a message saying, very frustrating loss. Got a text message from the 636 that says, no words to describe my feelings tonight except that this team is so frustrating. That is the overwhelming feeling right now about this game tonight. And I just looked this up a moment ago, and I don't know if I've ever seen this. I'm sure something like this has happened before. I just don't remember it. I can be as good as anybody out there in being a prisoner of the moment. But look, whether you like it when people like me talk about exit velocities and things like that, just give me a little grace here, because whether you like that sort of stuff or not, if you tend to hit the ball harder, you tend to get more hits, you tend to get more extra base hits, yada, yada, yada. Like, I'm not breaking any news when I say that. Oliver Marmol in his post-game, and this is why I looked it up, and I probably should have been watching along with it as the game went along today, and I didn't. But when I was listening to Oliver Marmol in his post-game media, he talked a lot about a lot of guys had, good at bats, good swings, hard hits, just at guys. And, Mason Wynn could have been 4 for 4 tonight. He goes 0 for 4, hitting the ball hard every single time. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of times when I hear that, it kind of sounds like an excuse, right? Like, you hear that, and there are certain guys like I always hate it when I hear pitchers talk about the soft contact got them. I don't like it when I hear hitters, talk about maybe especially this isn't as true now, but it was true before, that, they're hitting the ball hard, but the shift got them, things like that. Like those always feel like excuses. So when Ollie said that tonight, and he didn't say it in those exact words, but when he was talking about the at-bats and Mason Wynn and everything, I wanted to go look at exit velocities. And this is what I just found. The Daniel Hinkamp back at our KMOX studio, he heard me counting out loud because I had my microphone on and he was listening to me in queue, and he heard me counting. And he goes, what's going on? What is it? Because I said, wow. And then I started counting. Of the 17 hardest hits in terms of ball coming off the bat, not hits in terms of single, double, triple home run. So exit velocities, the hardest hit exit velos. Of the 17 today, 15 of them were the Cardinals. 15 of the 17. The Rockies had the hardest hit ball of the day. It was that Hunter Goodman home run, which was a shot for, 444 feet home run. I mean, that thing was gone quickly. And then Ezekiel Tovar had a 108 mile per hour base hit, and that was in the 4th inning. And outside of that, the other 15 of the 17 hardest hits today were all off Cardinals bats. Like Ivan Herrera had the second hardest hit ball of the game, and it went for a double play. Joel Pozo had the 5th hardest hit ball of the game. It went for a double play. So this is just not too often does luck play in the way it did tonight, but I don't think that's an excuse. That this is one where I kind of called BS at first, And then I went to look, and that's remarkable. To me, that's remarkable. Maybe I'm a baseball nerd that looks at this sort of stuff, but it is it's remarkable for to see that. Now, look, you still got shut out, right? Like, this sounds like now I'm making excuses, and that's not what I'm trying to do here. I am trying to put some context to what just happened over the past 3 hours or so, but that they were hitting the ball hard today. They just didn't get them to drop where they needed it to go. Sam says it is inexcusable to struggle to a guy with a 2-12 record. Again, kind of what I just said. They hit him hard. They didn't they hit him where people were. Like, I don't have a whole lot to say. I don't have a whole lot to say on this one. You're frustrated. It's so frustrating. It's so incredibly frustrating. And the Mets won tonight and the Reds won tonight, so you lose again. Like, it's frustrating. I am with you. I am frustrated, but there's no blame to go around on this one. Now we can have the Matthew Liberatore conversation. I think that is a more valid conversation to have, because Liberatore's really having a hard time to holding velocity. Now, one of the big narratives coming out of this game tonight is the fact that he held velocity longer in this game than he did the last game. And that's what makes you a great pitcher, right? When you can hold velocity, when your 100th pitch of the day can be just as hard as your first pitch, or your 10th pitch as you ease in, 20th pitch, whatever. When you don't lose velocity as the game goes along, those are great pitchers. And that's what Matthew Liberatore does when he's really on. Here's where I'm torn. So this was the thing that Oliver Marmol had me thinking a lot today as I was listening to him talk, because my thing has been, I kind of felt like the Cardinals mishandled Liberatore as he approached a plateau, a new spot in terms of innings pitched, pitches thrown, that sort of thing. And it seemed like anytime that got brought up, it kind of got poo-pooed. Like, this isn't a thing. You don't have to worry about it. He's going to be fine. There's no reason to worry. And then all of a sudden there was a worry, and they shut him down for the couple weeks around the All-Star break. So my mind, which isn't always the smartest one out there, my mind goes to a spot where it's like, well, I wish they would have kind of planned this out a little bit more. Maybe over the first 3 or so months of the season, taking the foot off the pedal every once in a while with Liberatore, just skipped a start. I mean, you had Michael McGreevy sitting there at AAA. You could have worked on, and I know at times they used him in the 6-man rotation, but part of me is like, you know what? I would have liked to have seen there be a little bit more planning when it comes to Liberatore, just to help him reach those new marks a little bit later in the season. But then I listened to Ali talk tonight, and he connects a lot of what's going on with this team, or with Liberatore, I should say. He connects a lot of it to that time off, where because he was off for a while, he kind of lost the ability to hold velocity, and now you're trying to build him back up. So I'm sort of torn right now. I'm torn between two things. Because part of me thinks they should have done more as the year went along to stop him from throwing as many pitches to extend out the year. But then I think Ali's right when he says shutting him down for a couple weeks brought him back to a point where he has to be built back up again. I don't have an answer on this one, but those are the things that I think through as I listen. All right. Those are my thoughts on the game. Let's grab some of your thoughts. Mark has given us a call. Hey, Mark, you are on the Extra Innings Show.
Yes, Matt, thanks for taking my call, and always enjoy your program and your analysis and all. We may not always agree on everything, but you call it like you said. I was just thinking in terms of sometimes you can hit, let's say, tough luck. But have you ever thought about, and I'm not comparing any of the Cardinals to great hitters like Pete Rose or Tony Gwynn or Roberto Clemente or any of those hitters, but one of the things you kind of notice about them, and baseball is still baseball, is the old saying, hit it where they ain't. They come up, and there's always gaps. There's always gaps, and sometimes I think you have to kind of survey the field and try to hit it where they ain't. Hitting it hard is always a good thing, but then sometimes you can see where a hitter may just top the ball and it's slow, and they can actually get a base hit out of that. Now, I'm not saying they try to do that intentionally, but I do think that the great hitters, if you watch them over the years, great hitters could play in any era. They kind of survey the field in terms of, I'm not saying guiding the ball there, but they're aiming at doing a certain thing depending on how a pitcher is really pitching them. I have seen growth in the Cardinals this year. I really have. I've seen growth, and they've gotten progressively better. The last 2 years was terrible. Last year was better. This year they're doing better situational hitting with the coach and everything. But I think that's the next step that they really have to take, especially when they get runners on. Even if they make outs, it's got to be productive outs where at least they advance the runner. And the worst thing you could do, what happened today, hit into 3 double plays that virtually take you out of the inning in terms of scoring. So I think they'll make that next progression in hitting. I think they got a good batting coach this year, so I'm pretty optimistic about that. And they're still a young team, but I think they'll get better in that regard. I just want to make that comment.
Yeah, Mark, sir, I certainly appreciate the phone call and always appreciate you you really thinking through the stuff that you bring to me. My general thought, look, is there a time to, shorten up, to try to aim? Hitting is really hard. Like I think we're oversimplifying it when we start saying you're really trying to aim the ball to the areas where fielders are not. And I would also say this, like, are there moments in the game where it's just really important that maybe you find a way to get a base hit? Yes. Generally speaking, I don't want a slugger who can give you doubles, home runs. I don't want them changing what they do to try to punch a hit somewhere, because that's not, as a team, when you think of the great home run hitter, if Pete Alonso, I don't know why he came up. Pete Alonso set the Mets record tonight for home runs. He passed by Darryl Strawberry, so his name was the top name that I thought of when I thought of home runs. If Pete Alonso comes to the plate, if Kyle Schwarber comes to the plate, if Shohei Ohtani comes up to the plate and he shoots a single, the other team, hey, you don't want to give up a hit, but you'll take it. Okay. Like, if this guy just changed his approach, if a big time home run hitter changes their approach to give you a base hit, especially just in a random moment, I'm not talking about a ninth inning 1-run game. Like, they're not talking about pressure situation, but just a random moment in the game. If one of those guys comes up to the plate and changes their approach at the plate just to shoot a single, then if I'm the pitcher and I'm the other team, I'm saying, thank you. Take your base. Take first. You didn't hit a double. You didn't hit a home run. I'll take that more. So again, I hate talking about luck. I hate talking about batted ball luck. It's a real thing. I don't bring it up very often on this show. I don't bring it up often because I think it sounds like an excuse. But tonight that was a thing. And the Cardinals are not going to have 15 of the 17 hardest contacts in a game and lose very often. This one you just chalk up as, for whatever reason, it was a weird night. I think sometimes you apply a definition to something. Like, that's what we try to do in life. And I'm not trying to get philosophical on you, but I'm going to for a moment. That's what we do in life. For stuff that we don't totally understand, or for stuff that's a little bit weird, we try to apply definition. So the Cardinals just lost to the Rockies. The Cardinals just got shut out to the Rockies. We try to define what just happened. So we're going to define it as a bad night. We're going to define it as, I got a text message from somebody that said pathetic effort. That's a definition. We're going to try to define this as a pathetic effort, which I disagree with that texter. That's what we want to do. That's part of my job. When I'm adding context to something that's going on, very often I'm sort of adding definition to what happened. I don't do this very often. This is not, I don't, this is one of those games you just throw out. 15 of the 17 hardest hit ball. The Liberator stuff's real. The Liberator stuff is real. We'll talk about Liberator till the cows come home, right? That's real. The Cardinals getting shut out when 15 of the 17 hardest hit exit velocities in the game came off their bats. I can't be mad. I can't be mad. I can't. And that's where I'm not making an excuse. I can't be mad. I know there's a lot of people that really just think I'm being a homer and I'm making excuses and I'm telling them everything's okay because they just got shut out by the Rockies. Yeah, okay. I don't have much more for you. I don't have a hard, the double plays were annoying, right? They were really annoying. Every single time they went over like that. It's a frustrating game. And sometimes when you don't understand why stuff is going on, I'm not saying like you don't understand in terms of you don't understand baseball. Like you just, why is this happening? Why are they hitting the ball hard and it's being hit right at guys tonight? That's what I'm talking about. And very frustrating night. Unless this becomes like a crazy trend where they're always hitting the ball hard, but they're not scoring runs on those nights, I just kind of throw this game away. 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. That's how you call. That's how you text. You can tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air. We'll take a break. We've got more coming up in just a moment. This is the Extra Innings Show on KMOX.
You know Gray Bar for electrical parts, but there's one more thing you may not be thinking of us for that can help maximize your next project's total value. Our pre-project planning services are designed to help you win the bid, save on labor costs, and keep your installers productive across your entire build. The sooner you call us, the better. Because when we're there from the beginning, we can anticipate your needs and help you solve problems before they become problems. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
When you own a business, you know there's no shortage of bold moments. At VOS, we're here to help you meet those moments in stride. Whether it's reducing your exposure to check fraud, setting up direct deposit, or helping make credit card processing seamless, VOS is here for you, your employees, and your customers. Are you ready for a better banking experience? Then make the bold move and switch to VOS today. Visit bankwithvos.com. Member FDIC.
There's a big red barn where you say green. Norm's Bargain Barn. On discount windows, doors, and things. Norm's Bargain Barn.
Hi, I'm Norm Wilkie. Come see my new selection of Amish cabinetry made by my good Amish friends at Countrywood Products. We now stock 5 styles of cabinetry for you to choose from.
When you need to save on discount windows, doors, and cabinetry, come to Norm's Bargain Barn. With locations in Shiloh and Fenton at the bottom of Gravois Bluffs. Visit normsbargainbarn.com.
That's normsbargainbarn.com.
It's Tom Ackerman for Innsbruck. Just the beautiful homes at Innsbruck. The new Sonnenhaus houses are available this year. The newest style of living, combining the modern exterior of a treehouse with cozy interior elements of a cottage into one convenient and comfortable residence that can transition from a vacation home to a permanent residence. And it's so close to St. Louis, just a half hour from Chesterfield, an hour from downtown. Innsbruck-resort.com.
Now, back to the Verizon Extra Innings Show.
We are back right here on KMOX talking through the Cardinals' 3-0 loss to the Colorado Rockies. And the word of the night is frustrating, and it was a frustrating night all the way around. A frustrating night, especially where yesterday they get back within 3 games of a playoff spot. You're playing the Rockies. You want to come up with some wins, and you lose this one tonight. Brooks sent in a tweet, and I think it's an important part. Says important question. Says it kind of goes back to what we were talking about last night, but it certainly applies here moving forward. Brooks says, curious to hear your thoughts this afternoon on the Gas House Gang. Oliver Marmol said he would not move Gorman over to second with his recent errors at third because they want Donovan playing every day. I was thinking, why not swap Donnie and Gorman, play Donnie at third as the better defensive player, and then you can continue to get Gorman everyday bats like they want and possibly get better defense at second from him. Thoughts on this? Yeah, so my thoughts are, I don't have a problem with any of that. If the team wants to put Donovan at third and Gorman at second, I'm not going to push back on it. They've shown no indication that they want to do that. Like, you heard what was said today. The idea of, and Ollie's pushed back a few times when we've discussed Donovan playing in other spots. Like, he goes out to the outfield occasionally, but when we've asked him questions about, well, you can open up a spot on the infield by playing Donovan more in the outfield, he will very quickly kind of bring up that they're most comfortable with Donovan at second base. And also he brings up the fact that Donovan's an all-star. This is a leader on the team, and in many ways he kind of deserves to have a position that he's going to stick with. They want to have him at second. I haven't heard the exact answer. Maybe that's something I can talk with Ollie about, just comparing second to third. What is it that they want to make sure to keep Donovan at second as opposed to moving him over to third? It might also just be part of Gorman's, the long-term spot for him isn't going to be at second base because JJ Weatherholt's going to be here before you know it. So you keep, and then that presents the question, well, if you're holding second base for Weatherholt, then what are they going to do with Donovan? Legit question. Don't have an answer for you right now. But if they're trying to develop Gorman as a guy who is going to have a spot defensively, they may not view second base as the opportunity for him because they view Weatherholt in that spot. So then you put him at third and you leave him there and you hope that he gets better defensively. So that would be my answer. I don't know if that's the answer that you're looking for. I think we can all agree that Donovan is the superior defensive player to Gorman. So the idea of Donovan at third and Gorman at second feels like, from a sum of the parts perspective, that is going to be a better defense. I just think there's more going on to this equation, which is why they possibly do not do that. What's on Deck is presented by Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best. Cardinals are going to wrap up this series against the Rockies coming up tomorrow afternoon, a 1:15 first pitch. It's going to be Michael McGreevy on the mound for the Cardinals, 4-2 with a 4.40 ERA. Austin Gomber is going to go for the Rockies, 0-6 and a 6.52 ERA. 1:15 first pitch. Our coverage begins at 12:20. Thanks so much for being tuned in. We'll talk to you tomorrow for more Cardinals baseball here on KMOX.
When we started Neovite